MTS, thank you very much. The United Arab Emirates is positioned just across from Iran on the Persian Gulf, and tonight it's one of the many countries hoping the U.S. can reopen the nearby Strait of Hormuz, that vital passageway for oil. Senior foreign correspondent MTS Tayyab is there.
A U.S.-owned oil tanker targeted in the Strait of Hormuz, one of several attacked by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The devastation caused to the vessels, which can hold up to hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crude, was clear to see. Since the start of the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran just over 2 weeks ago, 500 tankers have been stuck in the Strait, one of the world's most dangerous standoffs. As Iran intensifies its attacks on its Gulf neighbors, this strike on a fuel tank at Dubai's airport saw flights suspended at one of the world's busiest transport hubs. And this major hit on a large oil storage facility in the UAE's Fujairah saw it burn out of control. Qatar also hasn't been spared, showing Tehran's determination to target global energy.
Dr. Majid, good to see you again.
We met Majid Al-Ansari, the advisor to the Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Ministry spokesman, in Doha.
Will Qatar attack Iran? If it is war that the other party wants, if we have attacks coming into our country, we will defend ourselves.
But today, Iran is also paying a price. According to the White House, U.S. and Israeli strikes have hit more than 15,000 targets across the country.
Well, not far from where we are tonight, on the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. forces targeted Iran's Karg Island this weekend, where 90% of Iranian oil passes through. The message from the White House is clear. The U.S. can and will devastate Iran's energy lifeline if it has to. Tony.
MTS, thank you very much. The United...
All right, Shalom. It's the brother Kaya from GMS New Orleans coming back at you with another lesson. Prior to getting started, as I always do, like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Shumar Kahakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And as we see this ongoing war, right? We have a war on oil, gas, all right? And really the positioning themselves of power, all right? Because war is a racket, all right? And it's set up, it's set up to position themselves to usher in their new, their NWO and amongst the agenda of the elites, the things that they're hardest towards. All right, really, the ultimate thing is to complete their enterprise, and their enterprise is to hit everybody with the MOTB, have a one world order, one rule, okay, one world government, okay, amongst the the aristocrats, of the earth. Well, you would say, the rule of the demons. All right, all democracy, everybody under one banner. All right, and the law was never with that. But I bought this out because Iran struck a U.S.-owned oil tanker, all right? And we're feeling the direct effects of the things that's transpiring in this Strait of Hormuz, all right? Because it affect our everyday lives. The gas, oil prices are getting higher, tariffs, on taxes, everything is extremely high. All right, I think we pay 10% taxes here in Louisiana, and I don't see it going down. All right, if anything, it'll increase, okay, due to the things. But America, or Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, all right, has bought this thing. They have called these things upon them, man. And America is an import country, so we need the likes of those resources from those other nations, but I won't say the American, but I'll say the elites, they have dealt underhandedly with these other nations, man. All right, they have lettered themselves with thick clay, which means debt. All right, and ultimately, all right, there won't be any trade routing going on, because Trump even mentioned, as I did a lesson a few days ago, about how if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz, all right, that they gonna hit them. Trump gonna hit them 20 times more, cause he know how vital and essential it is that oil and gas come through here, because that'll leave America on life support, man. You know, those are the resources in abundance, all right, that America was able to get from, trading through these other countries. But now, all right, through the through the insufficient doings of President Donald Trump, really he's backed by the global elites. All right, they're controlling everything that he's doing. Okay, what he's done, he have ran all deals and trusts for America in the ground, man. All right. So now we have feeling the direct effects of what has transpired. And this devil also said, all right, that he believed that God believes that he's done a great job, man. I'm talking about Trump, but I don't want to veer off this, because I'm gonna show you the direct effect. Brother's been, posting gas prices in different places. I just filled up my truck the other day. It was $90. Now, normally it'd be 60. All right, but you get the E. I kind of fill up once I get low. All right, at Sam's. And Sam's Club usually have a better, decent price range than the regular stores. All right. So now obviously I'm using premium. All right, that's why it was $90. Take around 22, 23 gallons. But nonetheless, I'm seeing the gas prices spike increasingly, like dramatically, man. All right, every day or every few days or every week or so, I go to fill up gas. All right, it's getting higher and higher. All right, and remember, America has done dealt with these people wrongfully, man. These other nations, and now the things that they need, all right, is no more guaranteed unto them, man. It's no more getting things at abundance, because they have dealt underhandedly. Let me get this as well. All right, I just want to play that. Now grab this right here. Okay, let's get out of this.
A fifth of the world's oil, but over the last 48 hours, Iran has attacked at least 6 commercial vessels, along with oil and energy facilities in Bahrain, Oman, and Saudi Arabia. And these attacks are very much tied to what you're paying for things right here in the U.S. Because
so it's crippling the things we're actually paying for. And they're not just attacking the oil and gas prices, man. There's a delay on things we're getting. I believe the brother put in the chat that he showed he got an email back from the people he was emailing that was I believe it was from Etsy, so it's coming from out of the country. All right, I don't know exactly where. Don't quote me on that. You can probably, brothers may be familiar with it. All right, because I didn't actually look at it in a while. It's been a couple years since I ordered from them. But nonetheless, I believe it's coming from that Middle Eastern area, to where, things, the routes in which things are getting delivered are ultimately delayed, along with, plane trips and routes. All right, all due to this, this ongoing feud with Iran and Israel, man. Which is a end time biblical prophecy, to where, they'll be fighting and battling in the end time, man. So it's something to pay attention to. Keep your eye on it. But the name of this article is Diesel is Business. Come out 2 hours ago. You can look it up on Newsbreak. Diesel tops $5 a gallon for the first time since December 2022. And remember, when prices go up, all right, things are not going down. So wherever it goes up to, that's going to really be the norm. All right, you go buy things such as shoes and groceries and different things like that, man. Taxes is irate. All right, it's mind blowing to this point, man. And those taxes are going to increase, man, because they're going to continue taxing the people, because now they're leaning. America is leaning on their reserves. All right, and when they run out of debt, all right, there's nothing left. None of these states is trading with them. All right, the dollar's being dropped. So, it's only thing can happen now is war, which have started on the forefront. And like, war has developments to it. All right, it just don't start and then all hell break loose. It's a build up. These other nations got to join the war. China, Russia, they got to get in it and position themselves. There's a preparation, man. All right, so it's a season. When you look at the wars of old World War I and II, there were years. All right, it wasn't just a monthly thing. All right, things got increasingly, it worsened. All right, as it developed. The more the development was, the worse the society took a blow and a hit, man. And remember, the banking walls. All right, all walls are banking walls. But the thing is, they're all doing it for the sake of the end of this world or this age right here, which is this eon, which is the rulership of Esau. All right. So it's not they, even though the Lord have put them in charge. All right, He have also allowed them to basically in their tenure for ruling through themselves, man, as it tells you in the book of Second Esdras. Now I know I've been rambling. I'm gonna get a couple precepts. I got some precepts lined up. All right, but I want to get these videos out the way first. All right, because it's how rising diesel prices may affect inflation amid Iran war. You see.
Because oil and gas prices continue to rise. Here is Money Watch correspondent and CBS Saturday Morning co-anchor Kelly O'Grady.
For American drivers, the cost of the war is already showing up at the pump. The national average for a gallon of regular just hit $3.60, up 35 cents in the last week.
I got a full-size truck and it cost me $100 to fill my tank.
It affects me from doing other things I need to do. I mean, it may take away from me buying groceries.
But there's a bigger warning light flashing for the economy: diesel. Prices are up nearly 70 cents in a week, almost $1.20 in the past month. The trucks that move much of what Americans buy run on diesel. Economists see this troubling spike as a red flag for inflation.
And I'll get this real quick. This Ecclesiastes 12. See, the economists understand what the hell going on here. All right, I didn't have this, but I'll play it. All right, I'll read it. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Verse 1, it says, "Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." And right now, these are the times. All right, America is not great anymore. This is the, make America great again. Remember, America was in its youth. It was in its glory. All right, it had the top dollar, the trading and buying and selling was at an all-time high. Okay, products was cheap, right, easy to get. But now, you think yourself to be in a good case for a small season before this war. You was able to get things easily. There was low, right? Had things, prices rising, but we're just talking about in general years prior to the things at the times now where everything is getting taxed. All right, Fed tax hike is just going up dramatically. I'm always reading the news break how the Fed tax hike rate they just shoot it up, man. All right, let me get to the point. This verse 3. "And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." You see, the man say we're working, but once he give money to the actual money to actually get to work, now it's going to affect something else like food, daycares, all the things that you was doing to have actually protect you to go to work. Because Jake is in a matrix. I was watching they clone Tyrone, all right, and everything around you is kind of systematically set up, all right, for to cycle your money through one way or another. So you need gas to go to work. Gas is outrageous price-wise, all right? You still need money to buy food. So now you're not getting that many hours. Jobs are at a premium, all right? you know, there's very little work in Egypt, which is gonna say, all right, and then ultimately you get the fact of all the taxes Jake have to pay on the money. You're not getting the hours at work. Okay, so it's just a domino effect. Everything affects everything. Then you got your livelihood, all right, your day-to-day, your bills, all right, your groceries. So all other things just gotta get cut off. All extra utility of not utilities, but all extra bills and everything like that. People's micromanaging everything, man. To this point, because right now the windows is darkened in America, man. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets. When the sound of the grinding is low, work is low. All right. Gas is high, work is low, food is high. All right. The mirth gone. You just can't afford and get anything out here, man. Okay. And it's all due to, again, in doing war. All right. Ain't nobody gonna be goddamn working much longer. All eyes gonna be on the wall. You gonna be getting called for a draft, or you gonna be wondering what the hell going on, man. Because your economy don't be booming when war is taking place, man. Everybody's in fear of their lives because whoever wins the war, they're gonna that country automatically becomes spoil or booty to the country that won it, the country that was defeated. All right. Okay. So let's play this some more.
Seen diesel prices increase faster than gas prices. What do you think is going to happen?
And diesel controls, that's the blood of America. So these trucks that get the food to the stores, the resupply the stores, they actually carry, they actually run off diesel. And the truckers can't afford to pay with all those miles and traveling, can't afford to pay with diesel. They're going to be basically not making money or in a negative. And what they're going to do is they would just rather not do it than to be in a negative. You see? So now you're going to get the short end of supplies being stocked in the stores because the trucks are not driving because the fucking diesel too high. See, everything could get affected by one other thing.
In terms of that impact.
These are adding to a lot of transportation costs, a lot of shipping costs, but they also seep into other costs in the economy. These are the multipliers to get to a much more broad-based increase in prices that go beyond what we see at the gas pump and showing up in things like the grocery store as well.
Rising energy costs also come as many consumers already feel crunched.
We've seen these compounding price increases that even when they slow down to be below wage gains, it's not enough to feel as good as you did prior to the pandemic.
Now, the White House is taking measures to mitigate rising oil prices, announcing that it plans to release 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves. But Swank warns that won't bring prices down. It will just slow the climb. Tony?
Yeah, see? So when they go into reserves, it won't bring prices down. They'll slow the climb. But it's not stopping the climb. Slowing something down and stopping is two different things, man. And lo and behold, right, even though things wasn't easy accessible during the C-19 the pandemic. Lo and behold, if something like that transpire right now, that'll really throw a monkey wrench in everything, man. All right, they'll completely upend this. It'll be a societal disruption immediately, man. All right, people. This place a belly up right now. If that was, they was to throw one of their pestilence out. And I said that because that's what they're going to do, man. Okay? So while people got their panties in a bunch and the government is squeezing the people into a position to where they're looking for any bailout, all right, or any type of help or assistance, that's the perfect way to implement what? The micro C-help, man. All right, because people going to look for some type of relief, all right, tension reliever of some sort, some help. And there's, again, people are vulnerable. And when people are vulnerable, they'll do things, inadvertently, without thought. right, without giving much thought to things or whatever it may be. Or they may be forward in doing it, all right, but not realizing what they've done, man. Okay? And these people are squeezing this society as we see it. See and know it. Okay?
Yeah, prices go up a lot quicker than they come back down. And Kelly, while I have you, it's not just oil.
See that? Prices goes up way quicker than they come back down. And these devils be saying dropping little jewels and gems inside what they're saying, but that's the truth, man. All right? Remember, the programming, the truth is within the programming. All right? You just got to be able to have the eye salve on to actually hear what these devils saying, man.
Oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz, what else could be affected?
That's right, Tony. This is a very important trade waterway. Think about aluminum. We've already seen prices go up. But one thing in particular I have my eye on, Tony, is fertilizer. A good part of the world's fertilizer comes through that. Think about farmers and how that...
And through that trade, that, like she said, is a trade waterway, all right, of aluminum and other things that the economy needs to continue to function, all right. Iran done started land mines within that route, man. They're not just blowing up these oil tankers and gas. What they're doing, they're strategically crippling America, man, from being able to get get goods, man. And then get those essential goods, man, that they can't go without. We can't go without. Everything is oil and gas based here, all right? And we, just that alone. But then you start getting into other things, wheat and different things that people need to survive on. And now they're starting to attack that as well, man. And in war, all right, you need strategies, man. You see? So, yeah, what's going on, obviously we live in Babylon, but we understand that, this is a doing of the Lord as well, man. All right? I'm going to probably get that article too that says, about, and read, just scan through it real quick about the landmines being laid in the Strait of Hormuz.
That could increase produce and things at the grocery store.
All right.
Jerry is trying to get on the...
So, okay. Read this, scam through a little bit of this. U.S. diesel prices jumped above $5 a gallon on Tuesday, marking the highest level since December 22, as the strain on global energy markets from the war in Iran continues to ripple through the American economy. Diesel prices reached $5.04 a gallon, $5.04 a gallon, up from $4.78 a week ago, and from $3.65 over a month ago, according to data from AAA. Diesel prices are rising as the war in the Middle East constrains the world's oil supply and drives up prices of Brent crude, the international benchmark, above $100 a barrel. Iranian attacks on oil and gas facilities across the Persian Gulf have hobbled operations in oil-producing nations such as the United Arab Emirates, where a drone attack on Monday sparked a fire in the Fujairah oil industry zones. The war has also disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a waterway through which 20% of the global oil supply flows. That has prompted President Trump to consider a military option to escort ships. Mr. Trump has also called on other nations to help reopen the strait to get traffic moving. Until we see a meaningful resumption of oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz, upward pressure on fuel prices likely to persist. Patrick DeHaan, a petroleum expert gas buddy, said in a note yesterday. All right. So it says until they open the strait to get the traffic moving. All right. Now remember, all right, America had been the traffickers of the earth. This is Ezekiel. Ezekiel 28:4. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic as thou increase thy riches, and thine heart is lift up because of thy riches, man. You see? And it says, and these devils are proud. You know, who gonna bring them down? They got this, they got that, you know. And now the tide have turned, man. All right. The Lord is performing what he purposed, man. It says, therefore, thus say Yahweh of hosts, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. All right. That's why he say he gonna put hooks in the jaws of Russia, Iran, and those Persians, man, the Carmanians. All right, ancient Persians. You know, they are the terrible of the nations, man. You see, to take away their brightness, the glory, their gold and their riches. All right, because remember, Babylon had been a golden cup in the hands of the Lord, man. You see, I'm gonna stay in this chapter, 28, and think I'm gonna get like, yeah, 17. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by the reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings that they may behold thee. And now the nation is saying America is, is cankered. All right. Their garments are moth eaten. It says, thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. See? Therefore will I bring, and that iniquity goes into their unrighteous, unbalanced, or they've been not dealing with truth. All right, not dealing with balance. All right, making default on their payments, and getting themselves into debt, man. All right, that's the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore will I bring from forth a fire from the midst of thee, it shall devour. Then I will bring thee the ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. You see? So that's the iniquity of their traffic. What's doing now, the same traffic that made them honorable, the Lord is staining it, according to Isaiah 23. So there's a reverse of now. America was the everybody wanted the see the whore. All right, now everybody is mad at her. All right, the whore is Babylon, America. All right, in the NLT it says you defiled your sanctuaries, Ezekiel 28 and 18. You defiled your sanctuaries with your many sins and your dishonest trade. You see, so I brought fire out from within you, and it consumed you. I reduce you to ashes on the ground in the sight of all who were watching. You see that? She defiled our sanctuaries with many sins and dishonest trade. You see that? And this devil been dishonest with his trade because it's been covering other people's houses, covering fields. All right. Ultimately, they've been working bribes. Okay? Because they're the tabernacles of bribery. When you go to Job 15 and 34, let's get that. All right, then I'll jump to Psalms. Okay? This is Job 15 and 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. See that? Because they have been dealing with bribes. All right, they've been bribing people, making not holding their end of the bargain, breaking treaties and promises. All right. So now the tide have turned. This is Psalms 26. Now people is on these devils. 26 and 9. All right. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, whose hands is mischief and their right hands is full of bribes. All right. Promising people, hey, give us this. We the new country, the new thing popping. which they was. They had some glory for a while. And all the nations got rich because of her. All right. It says that in the scriptures. But once they see her fall, all right, they're going to wail because of her. Because they ain't going to be able to get their riches. Okay. Let me see. Let me try to look that up real quick. Bear with me right here. All right. This is Yep, this is Revelation 18. And I'm gonna jump around. I'm gonna probably get 9. All right. At Revelation 18 and 9, the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now, this is when she's judged ultimately. All right. Jump to 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buying their merchandise anymore. And this is the beginning of this. All right. It's going to end up, all right, totally consumed and desolate. All right. But now, you know, the Lord is breaking their riches. All right. Their glory from them, stripping it from them. It says 15. I'm going to jump to 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar from the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. See that? For in 1 hour so great riches is come to north, and every shipmaster and all the companies and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she made desolate. You see that? So the Lord is making this whore desolate. You know? Because you got to remember, she had deceived these people. I'm going to jump to verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. No rejoicing. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all the nations deceived, man. You know? So soon as they started dealing with this whore, they begin to be deceived, man. Okay, let's get this. Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You see that? Okay, you see that? So these other nations is dealing treacherously with this whore, right? Going through inflation risks, amongst other things. All right, let me jump to this. Experts say that U.S. customers could start to feel a pinch of rising diesel prices because trucks, trains, and barges that move much of what Americans buy run on the fuel. All right, so I mentioned that. A lot of brothers could go and read that themselves. Okay, when they have time. All right. Yeah, here we go. See this right here. Huh. All right. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Iran lays mines in the Strait of Hormuz, sparking furious response by Trump. See, President Trump has warned of grave consequences for Iran amid reports that they have begun laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Because this is the way the people stabilize themselves. And if they cut off this from Americans, man, then America's going to be, all right, totally puzzled, man. Don't know what to do. It says reports emerged Tuesday suggesting Iran laid a few dozen mines in the crucial energy choke point that a fifth of all oil travels through. The strait has been a flashpoint since the start of the war, as Iran threatened to set any ship that tried to pass through on fire. And they've been setting them on fire. So these people is doing what they said they was going to do. So Trump need to do what he say he going to do. It says if Iran has put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. Trump wrote, if for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequence to Iran would be at a level never seen before. Right? But they blowing up drug trap people that's bringing in drugs, so-called. He blowing up drug boats. Trump says U.S. sunk 10 mine-land ships after threatening Iran over reports of mines in the Strait of Hormuz. All right. Which I think this should be about it. Okay. That should be it on that. All right. I'll bring out one more and get out of here. This is Micah 2. And 1 and 2, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hands. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even his heritage. Now check this out in the NLT. It says, when you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. See? By fraud and violence, those peace treaties, bribes, and other things. Or you just go in there and slaughter them. It says you cheat a man of his property, stealing his family inheritance. All right? And the whole reason why they want to get in Iran, like you said, them small heads don't got no central bank up in there. All right? And they can't control things how they want to control it. All right? So they're going to demonize them. All right, claim they got boogeymen or protesters was over there. Where the damn protesters at that was over there now? You know, that's neither here nor there. All right, but they're going to come up with some agenda, create some type of psychological operation. All right, and just cause themselves to go in there. But these devils been saying what they going to do years ago. All right, remember they say 7 countries in 5 years. All right, but this what they do. They oppress a man in his house. Okay. And it says you cheat a man of his property, stealing his family inheritance. All right. And the things that a nation inherits are their resources. This devil have stole many other nations' resources, man. Now it's time for her, this whore, to feel, all right, what they have done unto other nations, man. And trust me, it's gonna get a whole lot worse according to biblical prophecy, man. You know. But I believe, you know, for the most part, we covered. You see, I covered everything I wanted to kind of cover. Obviously, there's more. There's always more to go into, you know, but for the most part, the Lord is making this move on Babylon, man. And he's hurting the whore. He's breaking her down. All right? And he's breaking her down, so this is the day we pray for and we hope for, and we look for things things is going to get even worse, Akim. So just stay prayed up, keep pushing, and let prophecy take its course and have its way. So I don't want to write this out of was that a fine man. Next time I say shalom.